Make a book your lifelong friend, and your adventure will never end. Dear friends, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. And what these words really mean is that books really are capable of making one's life a lifelong adventure. And when you look at that concept, then there can be different kind of adventures depending on what kind of books one makes a friendship and relationship with. And when there is a journey of the friendship and relationship, you will never know what you will explore next, what is coming when you read the next book and the book after that. I don't know about you, but I'll ask you in a moment. But my friendship and my relationship with books started rather late, when I was just 20 years old. And when I was a kid, I tried to avoid books at all costs. When I became 20 years old, remembering my childhood, I knew that I didn't like reading books, and I couldn't understand why. Why do I need to read? Why do I actually need to read books? And I remember my mother always telling me, Timur, read books. Otherwise, you will never grow. And that's where I actually started getting quite scared. I thought I didn't want to remain as short as I was back then, until I understood that my mom meant inner growth. And when I realized that, I still couldn't understand why I don't need to read books. And when I tried to develop the friendship, the relationship with books, it was paying me back. It was giving me all of the information, all of the knowledge one can pursue to enrich one's life. And I took that time to develop that important friendship and important relationship. And when it came to the moment when I start, actually the era of self-improvement and spirituality started in my life, as I led an adventurous life of spirituality and personal change. And it depends what kind of books you choose to have friendship and relationship with. And remembering back from my childhood that so many times when there were different subjects at school and not thinking about the books which was in the course of studying during the school, which I tried to cope with, and it took me quite a while, but apart of that, I wasn't interested at all. And when I became 20 years old, it just one day I remember standing in my favorite bookshop, Waterstones, and seeing that book. I had that instant desire within me just to read that book. So I followed it through and bought that book. That's when the process, that's when the time started, when I was becoming passionate, becoming so keen to read different books, because I was growing inside. I was gaining so much knowledge, so much information, which was developing me from inside, and I saw how different things was changing inside me. And when I asked myself, do I really need to read these kind of books? You know, those kind of moments when you think through and you say, why don't I just spend time on something else? Why don't I just go out, meet my friends, rather just staying inside in my flat and just spending an hour or two reading these books. But again, when I had that burst of flash of ideas, flash of memories and experiences, that the whole picture, the process of the change in my life, all of that was disappearing very quickly. And I encourage you to take time to develop that friendship and then relationship with books. Because it's amazing what kind of rewards, what kind of benefits you will receive in return. But I also encourage you to choose books carefully. Because there are so many different books out there, and there are different ways people read books. They can be paperbacks, they can be now in digital age, audiobooks, and now it's coming to e-reading books. Personally myself, I'm still trying to cope with an idea of switching from paperbacks to e-reading, because I just love that feeling of having the book in my hand and reading it, that feeling of authenticity, that you have the book and it just creates that kind of experience throughout the process. When I read the book, when I perceive all the information from it, and coming to a quality of different books, because there are books out there that can actually alter one's life, change one's life, and transform one's life. Imagine the situation in your life. I'm sure most of you had that situation when you're standing, at least once in your life, when you're standing in a bookshop and have that instant desire, seeing a particular book, to buy it. You don't know what's behind that cover. You don't know what behind those words, behind those ideas in that book, but you just feel inside that I want to get and buy that book. And I have a couple of questions now for you. How many of you have friendship with books? How many of you have relationship with books?
Define relationship.
That's a bit deeper, but that's very important. That's good. A bit more people. I expected more people on friendship. And who will tell me the difference? Okay, we won't have time for that.
Go on, brave man.
The difference is, when you like books, you have a friendship. But when you have a relationship, you love them. You can't live without them. It's part of your life. And when you get a chance, when you think that you have a great book in front of you, don't just read it. Just go through it, study it inside out. Just immerse into that, get all the information and knowledge available from that. It's like flying above Egyptian pyramids and actually going into that and exploring it from inside. I would like to conclude with one of my favorite quotes. As once someone said, success is the right books right at the right time. Mr. Toastmaster.